Pallavi is here with me. Pallavi, over to you. Just talk us through what's happening inside the Parliament House.
So both the houses of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha have been adjourned, Arunima. Rajya Sabha till tomorrow, Lok Sabha till 2 p.m. There's one bill, of course, which is slated on the agenda as far as Lok Sabha goes. But so very clearly, the government does want to get all the bills passed as soon as possible inside Parliament. Well, the day began the way it usually begins. I mean, the Prime Minister appealing to the opposition, saying that this is a glorious monsoon session because of two reasons. Because it's going to be in the midst of the 75th India's independence, but more importantly, he also said the presidential and the vice presidential elections. But just moments inside the house, you had Lok Sabha, the opposition, of course, raising hangama. In Rajya Sabha, they raised objections to a GST. They demanded that the Prime Minister needs to come to Rajya Sabha, needs to speak to the speakers, and then the result, of course, it has been adjourned. So I suspect that's what will happen pretty much through the entire monsoon session, because it began really on the note also, Arunima, where the opposition feels that their voice is being muzzled, not being allowed to carry on dharnas and demonstrations, despite a clarification coming in from the government, and the speaker are also not being allowed to use certain words. And as far as the opposition goes, they want the Agnipath scheme to be discussed, to be removed. They also want a discussion on the GST, price rise, so on and so forth. And the government is very clear on one, that come what may, we have to get the bills passed.
And as far as the vice presidential election process goes, that is also being set underway with the nomination papers being filed. What is the process to be followed? How soon will the new vice president take charge? Will it be in this session itself?
Yes, it is expected to be in this session itself. See, the presidential counting is on the 21st. The vice president is after that. So the new vice president, we do expect, because this is a long session. This is almost a month-long session. So the procedure is actually been set rolling. The Prime Minister there, and flanked by the senior ministers of the Union Cabinet, all of them there very much overseeing the nomination process. We are going to also have, for example, Margaret Alva, who's the opposition's candidate, also filing her nomination through. For Jagdeep Dhankhar, it's again going to be a cakewalk. We already saw, for example, yesterday, the AIADMK, YSR Congress already pledging their support. So in terms of sheer numbers, nothing to worry about. I think it's going to be a nice political game and a match which is going to be watched out. As we've been pointing out, really, Arunima, guess who's going to be sitting across Jagdeep Dhankhar? Is going to be a Trinamool Congress's Derek O'Brien. Maybe a slice of Bengal's politics of confrontation will also be seen inside Rajya Sabha. And Jagdeep Dhankar's legacy, or I would say his experience as an administrator, as a governor, and also as a lawyer, I think the task is cut out for him to ensure that despite the fact that the government doesn't have those kind of numbers which the opposition has in Rajya Sabha, he's able to keep the agenda together to ensure that the bills are passed and the House is in order.
Given the TMC-Dhankar equation, Pallavi, I found it interesting that yesterday, when the opposition announced Margaret Alva as their candidate, TMC was not part of that meeting.
Yes, but the TMC also issued a clarification after that by saying that 21st July is their martyrdom day. It's actually a very big day as far as the Trinamool Congress is concerned, because that's the day which they declare as a founding day. And it's only after that there is going to be a meeting which has been called urgently by Mamata Banerjee, and they're going to make their point of view across whom they're going to support. When we do speak to TMC sources, they are insisting that Margaret Alva does have the credentials. She's a woman, she's a former minister, former governor, she belongs to the minority community from Karnataka, and also and South. She represents South. So the TMC certainly wants to send out a message that her absence should not be seen as our defense of the BJP's candidate.
Right. Pallavi, we will come back to you, but Arvind Kejriwal